My name is John Philip Fontanilla, and we're gonna talk about the Fire Festival. My first concern would be towards the management, especially Billy and Ja Rule. When in the video, it was seen that Billy doesn't take no for an answer. In a business, there must be safeguards in assets. There are decisions that should be declined. And having a music festival is not easy to pull off, especially when you have no background in such industry. That is why when they said that Billy doesn't take negative comments, I immediately realized that he isn't that type of entrepreneur to look up to. I know some entrepreneurs and businessmen that takes negative comments regarding their brand, their businesses, and their products as a motivation to do good. Second would be the firing of the pilot and the person that knows Bahamas for like 10 years. I'll put his name here. So when he raised some key concerning things about the site, he was immediately cut off. And it shows how this type of business, this type of structure or management doesn't really have an idea on how to take good care about the feedbacks that they receive. You know, in a business, it must work as a unit, as a group, and firing someone just because they gave you an insight regarding some important thing shows terrible management. Egos and personal things or personal matter should be placed outside the industry, just like in the accounting which states that the personal cash of the owner is separate from the business. Ego should not hinder a businessman, an entrepreneur, or a person in reaching their goal, in losing such persons that will help you produce amazing things such as the Fire Festival. Third would be ideas are necessary in doing businesses. For example, there are products out there that came from an idea. So having this concept of building or establishing a festival is such a pretty huge thing. What I saw in the video was the lack of curiosity from the businessmen. They did hire professionals, but they didn't ask or they didn't dive in how this type of industry really works, because they both have experiences, but the professionals, such as if you're going through a small business such as a retail store at tindahan, you must always ask the do's and don'ts or the things that must be accounted for, you know. Because if you were not gonna ask people that are far more knowledgeable in this type of industry, you're gonna be like a headless chicken having this dream that you want to achieve, because these dreams would not become successful. Just like in the Fire Festival, they just hired the best production team, best editors and stuff like that, but the one thing missing is that they didn't really talk and interviewed or just really have a proper vision on how to deal with such industry. So my final comments regarding the management of Fire is that they should first of all have some time together as a group, establish safeguards, establish rules, because in the first like 30 minutes of the film, they were just out there in the Bahamas partying, and they didn't really took account the budget. They just whatever they were handed to, if it's a 38 million budget expenses or pitch, it's just okay, we'll do it. That doesn't really show care, or that doesn't really show, right businessman's mind. In dealing with such production, yeah, it's really hard. That's why there's a part in the film which was addressed to how this thing should be processed like 12 months before. I think it talks about how you should budget. So you need a span of time to really communicate, to really have this synergy with everyone, because these types of management, if you can't work together, how could you expect to have a successful evening or even a successful production out of the Fire Festival? That's all. Thank you very much.